Hey everybody, let me just get myself situated here. There we go. Okay. All right, so hi everybody, Jess with Sass Crafts. I'm actually going to do a wreath tutorial today. I did try doing it last night, but as we all were aware that there was problems with Facebook, it figured it was like, all right, I'm ready to do this and let's go. I spent so much time preparing and I get on to do like a test just to make sure all my equipment was working, and then it was like, crap. I was all ready to go. Then I was like, maybe I can go to my YouTube channel. So I went, got it all set up for YouTube, came back to try and post it in Facebook, because you still could post some things, like some things could go through, but others couldn't. But apparently links and videos and pictures and lives just were a no-go. So I couldn't even post my link to have people come watch me over at YouTube. So I was like, all right, screw it. We're just going to call it quits for the night and we'll get back to this tomorrow. So with that said, we are going to get started making a wreath. And I know that this is during the day and a lot of you are at work. So if you have any questions during the replay, you can still comment. I could still get the, notifications that somebody has said something. So with that said, let's get started. Let me get to my other camera. Okay. What we are making today is like a poof type wreath, I guess you could call it. There's so many different methods out there: pull through, poof, curl and poof, curl. I mean, there's just, you name it, there's methods for it out there. So we're going to make an Easter ruffle wreath. Just to show you, kind of give you an idea, this is one that I have started that I need to finish. It's for a craft show. But it's kind of what it's going to look like. I made my own wire wreath form, which I can do a video later on to do. But this is the wire wreath form that we are going to use today. And so basically all of my materials came from Hobby Lobby. Big surprise. I work there, so I see a lot of things and I'm like, oh, that would make a cute wreath, and I buy it and then I get my discount on top of it, so can't go wrong with that. So I'm going to tilt the camera. Unfortunately, I got to manually tilt it because I'm not, gonna spend $300 on a camera that can do all the magical fun stuff, at least not yet. Maybe down the road that I will. So, and I will tell you now that I am a busy mom and one of my kids is home, and do not be surprised if you see him. Usually he's coming in, he wants something to drink, or he wants yogurt or a cheese stick or something. So, and you're going to hear my music in the background because I can't craft without music. I'll turn it down just a little bit. It might be a little too loud. So don't be surprised if you hear me, belting out some tunes while we're crafting. So I'm one of those that, I may not know the whole song, but I know one or two sentences of a song, and I am going to rock that sentence out of that song. So with that said, let's get started. I'm going to stand up, tilt the camera down so you can see my workspace, because you don't need to actually physically see me. You're going to be more concerned about the workspace. So hold on, let me tilt it down. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that is a better view. So like I said, all the materials came from Hobby Lobby. To save some time, I already cut up all the ribbon that we're going to use. I used 4 different types of ribbon, 2 types of the 2.5 inch, and then 2 types of the 1.5 inch. So these are the ribbons that I used. I dovetailed them. I will show you how to do a dovetail. It's really simple. So I left some that needed to be done just so I can show you, because what's the point of a tutorial if I'm not teaching you guys anything. So I have my ribbon, I have my wire wreath form, I have the deco mesh that we're going to use, and I thought it would be cute to add some little Easter egg type things, just lots of cute little flourishes, and then of course our Easter bunny that we're going to add. So I tried to prep as much as I could ahead of time. So with that said, let's get started. Probably helps if I took the price tag off. Got some Billy Joel going in the background. Have you ever, like when you were younger, listening to your parents' music and you were just like, oh God, why do I have to be subjected to this? And now that you're older, you actually like to listen to that music now? So growing up, it was, a lot of Led Zeppelin and Eric Clapton and, Supertramp, all of that type of thing. And I would just cringe every time I heard it. But actually now it's on my playlists for my iTunes. So, all right. So this is a 21-inch roll of mesh that I got from Hobby Lobby. And take all the tape off of there. Let's see. Oh, we didn't start the fire. I remember when I was teaching, I had to come up with a lesson plan that incorporated popular culture type things of the time into a lesson plan. And I actually took Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire, because if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's about things that have happened in history. So, all right, so to get started, I'm going to take the end and just kind of like accordion fold it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just to get it started. All right, and then some people will automatically start right here, like just putting it into the pipe cleaners, but I have found that using a zip tie actually to start it off works much better. So actually I'm going to cut that off. It's one of those ones where like you can attach multiple, and there it goes, zip ties together. So I'm going to start on the outside of the wreath and work my way around, and then I'll hop down to the inside of the wreath. So I just take it, and let's just say I'm going to start right here. I will take this, kind of tuck it in there a little bit, take my zip tie, and then just get it started. And again, if you have any questions, because I know probably most of you that were going to watch this are at work or busy or whatnot, and 10 o'clock wasn't conducive to watch me do the wreath, but Kira is so excited about doing her little segment tonight that I didn't have the heart to tell her that I was bumping her for mine. So I was like, all right, I'll do it during the day. All right, so I got that on there, and I'm just going to trim it. All right, and so then, and unless you have a mesh roller, which I don't have one of those yet, that is on my wish list to get, you're going to deal with your mesh going all over the place, but no big deal. If you're not making a mess, then you're not crafting. All right, and so then what I do is I just grab it like this, measure out to about 12, like that, and then take that where you've got it bunched up, and you just put it right into the pipe cleaner. or Chanel stems. Yes, they're not supposed to be called pipe cleaner anymore. And then I just give it like 2 or 3 twists just to make it in there tight, nice and tight, and then I'll kind of like poof out the deco mesh. And then I'll just grab the next one, and then again, do about 12. I've done this enough now where I already know about what 12 inches looks like. And I'm trying so hard not to laugh right now. My friends that know me that are watching this know why. All right, poof it out some more. Okay. Open that up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's the beauty of these wreaths is sometimes what we perceive are the imperfections actually make it perfect. So there we go. And if you tune into my lives, you're gonna hear music. I love my music, and especially my 80s. So that's what you're gonna hear the most of is 80s music. Sometimes 90s, because I was a teenager in the 90s, but the 80s are really my favorite. So, all right, 12 inches. So here in Syracuse, I'd like to think that spring is at least within sight. Watch, I say that, and we're going to get hit with a blizzard. But I think today is supposed to be close to 50. You can actually see the sun, which is a big deal here in Syracuse. People walk out and they're like, what is that? What's that bright golden orb in the sky? All right, we're just going to keep working our way around the wreath. Kind of poofing it as we go. And so, those of you that are new to who I am and, to my Sass and Crafts business page, first of all, I thank you for wanting to check it out and see what it's all about. I have always loved crafting. Like in school, I was one of those geeky kids that would get so excited when it was going to be arts and crafts time and we had to make projects, and I was all over that stuff. Like, oh yeah. And I hear little feet, so be prepared for the invasion of the toddler. And he's got a yogurt. I knew he would. You're silly. Yogurt break. Sorry. All right. There you go. You're welcome. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So I got that one tied. So, as I was saying, I was one of those kids that like everybody probably hated when I was like, yay, we're doing arts and crafts. Ooh, Footloose. So I never saw the remake of Footloose because I just was like, no, there's just some movies that you should not be remaking, and I felt Footloose was one of them. And same with Dirty Dancing. I was like, nope, I'm not going to be a part of that shenanigans. No, sir. All right, so I'm getting back right now. Here, I can zoom that in a little bit for you. Zoom that in. I'm getting back to where the pipe cleaner was right there. And I still have one tie left. So what's going to be nice is my mesh is going to cover up my starting position in this, this frayed mess right here. That's why you always do a zip tie, right before Chanel stem. That way you're going to cover that up when you do the last Chanel stem on the outside ring. So we'll finish up the outside and then we're going to pop into the inside. Somebody to tell you life makes you pie. All right, poof it up. Poof it up. All right, so now we're going to move into the inner ring. And again, I use a zip tie for that as well. And the purpose of the zip tie is really just to make sure things aren't moving. There's nothing worse than you get a beautiful wreath done and it starts to shift and slide all over the place. Nobody likes that. So that's why I use the zip ties. So again, I'm going to take the 12 inches and I'm going to, if you can see right there, I'm going to put my zip tie right there before this pipe cleaner. And that way when I finish up, it's going to cover up where I had the pipe cleaner. So just gotta get it in there. Yep. Get back. Come on. All right. So I got it zip tied. Now I need to cut it. It doesn't need to be perfect because when you're done, you're going to go through and, check your work and, make sure it's all good. So, all right. And then we just do the same thing that we did on the outside. So I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit. That way you can see. Nope, the wrong direction, Jess. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, like I said, what we did on the outside, we are going to do on the inside. So again, 12 inches. And it does not have to be perfect. I mean, obviously I've got my mat here, so, obviously I am going to, utilize that. If I've got it, might as well use it. So, and then just do the same thing. Put your mesh down, pull your Chanel stems, twist it a couple times just to make sure it's in there nice and tight. Okay, so I think it's coming out pretty so far. I love the colors, very Eastery. I just made up a new word. If anybody starts using it, I need to give credit to me. All right. It sometimes can be you're fighting with mesh and pipe cleaners when you're on the inner ring just because you've got the other ones already in the way, but it's all good. And you just puff it as you go. Oop, wrong way. Nope. Which way? There we go. Poof it as you go. All right. Do the 12. And I try to make sure that, because the mesh loves to do its own thing, especially it's not so bad if you have a mesh roller because it's on a wooden dowel and it has no place to go. But when you've got it just loose, sometimes it likes to twist and get all turned around and then your mesh is upside down, which is not what you want. So sometimes you do have to tell it who's boss and play around with it, but halfway around our inside. And depending on like what color mesh you use, sometimes that's all you have to do is the, outside and then move to the inside, and then that's it. You could be done. But because this is, I don't want to say see-through because all the mesh is see-through, but because it's more of pastel colors, you're going to probably see the frame a bit more. So I will usually just go back through and just fill it in, just zigzag and fill it in. So, but you can assess what you need to do, once you've got the inside loop done. But you two, has anybody seen them in concert? My cousin just loves U2, or at least he did, and I would go see them in concert. I heard they put on a phenomenal show. But so if you are interested in learning more or following, my page, just definitely hit like, because that's going to make you get notifications and of when I've posted. Right now my bot is down. I have a bot that, if you put in certain keywords, my bot will automatically send you a message that basically says, hey, thanks for joining. And then that way you will get alerts through Facebook Messenger about when I'm going to be going live, and or like any sales that I might be having, that kind of thing. So, but that is down right now. So, but if you still want to subscribe, you can. You just can't do it through this live. You would have to, at the very top of my business page, I have a post that is pinned, and you can, there's a link inside in that post, and you just click on that link, and it'll shoot you a messenger from the bot, or a message to messenger from the bot. It says something like, hey, thanks for your interest in Sass and Crafts. If you'd like to receive alerts about things. Oh, is this Bob Marley? Oh, yeah. See, now I'm like lost my train of thought. Listening to some Bob Marley. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you just click on that, you're going to get a message that says, hey, if you want to receive alerts, click get started. And that is key to hit get started. Because if you don't, nothing's going to happen. So you'll have to look way down farther in the message to see where it says get started. And once you do, that sends me a message that says, hey, Billy Joe Bob wants to get alerts when you're going to go live or whatnot, and then I know and take it from there. So I think I'm getting near the end. Yep, I got one more tie that was right past the zip tie. So grab it. It's about 12. Take my roll of mesh. Get it out of the way. Okay, so this is the last tie on the inside loop. And then once I get it in, I'm going to take stock of what it looks like. Okay. Now I'm not going to cut anything because I may want to fill in, like if you can see like any parts of the wire, you definitely are going to want to fill in. So like, for example, try and show you, you can see the wire right there. So I don't like that, so I need to fill that in. So then at that point, what you're going to do is you're going to zigzag. So I started on the outside, or inside, or finished on the inside. Good Lord, try that again. I finished on the inside, so now I'm just going to take the 12 inches, and now I'm going to go up to the top, and you can do one of two things. You can either try and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so here is where I need to do. I've already got my twist tie right there. You can either just put it in and then twist tie, you know, take the twist tie and tie it up, which probably in this case would work because they're pretty long. Or you can undo this twist tie, but you've got to be really careful that you don't lose your bunch right there, because that'll mess everything up. But you know, let's just say that, you know, you're working on a wire wreath form that either you made or the pipe cleaners are too short and you're not going to have enough room to add your ribbon. Then obviously I would open it up, put this on top of it, then close it. But I have got enough, so I'm going to put it in there, tie it down. Tears for Fears. This was my very first album that I ever bought with my own money, and I listened to that thing all the time, much to my parents' chagrin. So, and then you're just gonna kind of zigzag back and forth. So I had the top, now I'm gonna go into the inside, and you just kind of, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, so I kind of try and just weave it in and out in between the layers of Pouf until I find a pipe cleaner, and then I twist it down. And then just kind of play with it, make it all nice and poofy. All right. I don't know about you all, but I am so happy the weekend is coming. I need it. It has been a rough week. Holy moly, it's been a rough week. Mainly because I don't think I have actually slept through the night in probably a month. Mainly because of Nate. He keeps coming into our room and we can't get him to leave, and it wouldn't be so bad, but he's a flippin' bed hog. And he snores worse than me. So I have not been getting the best sleep of late. Okay, that was an outside, so let's go inside. And sometimes, as you can tell, you got to stand up to do your work here. You know, you would laugh if you saw my workspace. It's just proof that you can craft anywhere. You don't need to have big fancy workspace. Card table. If you've got room for a card table, you've got room to craft. Or your dining room table, or wherever. All right. I'm getting near the end of my roll. So it's coming along nicely. I just did the outside, so let's go to the inside. And if you're tuning in late, I'm just kind of zigzagging my mesh now because I need to make sure I cover up where you can see the wreath form. So, but you just work your way around. And this was, all right, hold on. I'm going to be that person and pick through the garbage because I forgot what size wreath. I think this was, aha, what size wreath form was it? A 16-inch wreath form. So it was a 16-inch wreath form that I used from Hobby Lobby, and then the deco mesh was 21 inches wide by 10 yards, so about 30 feet. And so you will use, you know, a whole roll. Jesse's girl. Okay, I got a story to tell you about Jesse's girl. And Andrea, if you're watching, you've got to know that every time I hear this song, all you can think about is my friend Andrea changed the words to Jesse's girl to something to the effect of Jesse is a good friend of mine. And she had like a couple of verses actually that she just came up with on the fly of singing Jesse's girl, but saying Jesse is a good friend. So every time I hear this song now, it's all I think about is my good friend Andrea and the song that she came up with for me. So that's a little story for you. Okay. So as you can tell, I'm getting near the end. So I'm going to do this one on the outside. And then it's going to zigzag right back into the center, and then I'll show you what I do to finish it off. So take this. It's not the 12 inches, and that's okay. But you want to get to the point where, you know, like that's going to be like kind of even. So it isn't the full 12 inches, but that's okay. So then you find that last pipe cleaner on the inside. Actually, I'm not going to use the pipe cleaner. Sorry, I misspoke. I'm going to find the wire wreath form, and I'm going to use, come on, it's not cooperating. I'm going to use a zip tie to finish off my wreath. But it's not wanting to cooperate with me right now. Come on. All right. So, actually, I'm going to pull it through. All right. Do that, kind of pull it apart. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over. And then I got to find that. What did I just do with it? Hold on. Where did it end? Aha, right here. Push it through. Okay. So, oh, Beastie Boys. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that end and I'm going to zip tie it to the frame. Again, just to make sure everything's nice and secure, because that's the last thing you want is everything to come apart. Oh, Beastie Boys. They are a band that I sadly did not appreciate when I was younger. Because I think I was only like maybe 8 or 9 when License to Ill came out. That was like their first like major album. And I just didn't appreciate it like I do now. So Okay, so just tie it there, clip it off, and then I take that extra because, you know, we don't need that. It's just kind of sticking out. And I just cut it close to the frame. And then I push everything back through because sometimes the poofs have a tendency to want to shift to the back. But, so there is the poof. And now, and you can't really see any of the, here, I'm going to adjust it up just a skosh. All right, that way you can see a little bit better. So, you know, there are, well, maybe, no, that's not, I was like, wait a minute, how'd that happen? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is add our ribbon and our decorations. So, I'm just gonna set this to the side for a minute to show you the ribbon. And so, like I said, I used all from Hobby Lobby. These are their Easter ones. These are limited. So once it's out, it's out. Hobby Lobby does not reorder seasonal stuff. So if you see something in seasonal and you want it, you better get it because we do not reorder seasonal. And if it's gone and you missed the boat. So if you see stuff that you like, get it. So when I saw these ribbons, I was like, oh, those are so cute. So, and then this one is in the regular floral department, so you can get that at any time. So these are 2.5 inches. These will be the bottom. And then these ones are 1.5 inches. You don't have to use 4 pieces of ribbon. I do because I just think it looks cuter that way, but again, that's the beauty of doing these wreaths is you can make it however you want. So let me show you what I do. What I do is, where's my samples? Because I already had some cut. Missing one more. Okay. So what I do, I've got my cutting mat, and you know, I'll just measure it out. This particular one, because it's a bigger frame, I cut 14 inches. So I just would roll out my ribbon, take my rotary cutter, which let me tell you, if you're going to do this and you do not have a rotary cutter, you need to get one. It makes life so much easier instead of trying to use scissors. Now, you can use scissors, clearly, but it goes so much faster and you get a cleaner cut using a rotary cutter. So, and you can get these at any craft store. So I just cut all my ribbon to 14 inches, and then now I'm going to dovetail it, which, if you're wondering what dovetail means, that is the like little triangle gap thing cut out. So that's what it means by dovetail. And you want to do that on either end. But let me show you the trick to make sure that they're nice and even, because before I learned this trick, it was awful. I'd, you know, be up here and down here, and it just looked really, really bad. And these are symmetrical. So what I do is I fold it over, and this is really good when I cut a whole bunch of ribbon at once. I can just put 2 or 3 together at a time, fold it over where the edges are touching, and then I do take my scissors and I cut in like that. And then when you open it up, you've got your dovetail. So again, just fold it over, take my scissors, I'm going to cut up to the center, actually utilize my trash that's there, and there you go, dovetails. So let me do that with all of these. Marvin Gaye. It's a sad story about him. Let's see. I love this yellow polka dot one. And not gonna lie, I think I bought all that was left at the Fayetteville Hobby Lobby. So if you try and go to that Hobby Lobby, I don't think there's gonna be any of that ribbon left unless somebody like returned it. Now, so you can't tell, but all of these, you know, are one-sided. So that does make a difference when you're doing stuff. So be aware of that when you are crafting. So can't tell you how many times I've gone to like make my bows and I'm not thinking and then I do it wrong because the ribbon's only one-sided and then you gotta twist a bow. It doesn't come out the way you want it to. Okay, so I got all my ribbon cut. I did about nine of each, so that's what, 18 sets. Whether or not we need that many, I don't know. I mean, it's okay if I got extra because I will obviously put it to good use. I have that other ribbon that I need to, our other wreath that I got to finish up for the craft show. So, so what I do is, excuse me. All right. I got all my ribbon. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so this is where it really gets fun. Okay, so pick a place where you want to start. Anywhere is fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then, what did I choose to do? I can't remember if it was, I think it was purple and this one maybe. All right, so what you're gonna do is basically layer. What is it, this one or was it that one? Hold on. Can't remember what I had going in my mind. Might have been this. Yeah, I think it was this. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. All right, so you just lay the 1.5 inch ribbon on top of the 2.5 inch ribbon, like that. And then you kind of find the center. You know, you can either, to find the center, you can measure, but let's face it, it just takes too long. Or just fold it in half. And then I just kind of start to pinch it where it's going to be the center. And then kind of make some birdie wings like that, pinch together in the center. I kind of use my finger to make a little bit of a curl like that. It doesn't have to be perfect because these ribbons are not going to stay on top of each other. And you'll see what I mean. So I'll find a pipe hole cleaner and put my ribbon down on it. And then give it a couple twists. Let me show you what I mean. See, I got the pipe cleaner. And then I put my ribbon on it and then give it a couple of really good twists and then start to separate them. And you can, you can pull. You're not going to hurt it. Well, I mean, don't pull too hard. But, and if you want, as you go along, just take your finger to kind of make it, have that little bit of a curl to it. But sometimes I just don't bother until the end because, you're moving around and doing stuff. And so it's going to get all messed up anyway. So it's kind of what you're doing. And I alternate between one set of ribbons to the next. So you don't have them, and you don't even have to do ribbon on every single pipe cleaner. It's all about how much ribbon you want on it. I like a lot of ribbon, so I basically use every single pipe cleaner. So then I just find the next one, and so you can see I got it open. And it also helps too because you can still see there's a little bit of a gap for the wire wreath form right there. You know, those help too, but I just covered up with the puff. So why did I do that? So now I'm going to do the cute little Easter eggs in my little stripe and lay them on top of each other. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. Kind of find the middle. Pinch it, make your wings, and then put it in there. Alright. Separate, and I will show you what I'm going to do with these pipe cleaners. I don't think I'm just going to leave those there. So I try to pull the ribbon like opposite of each other because I find that it spreads out a little bit better. So, and then you just kind of work your way around. Do, do, do. So anybody got any fun plans for the weekend? I know that I am going with some of my friends to see another friend perform in a burlesque type show. It's, the performance that she's doing with the other girls is called Chairlesque, which I'm super excited. I'm actually going to be starting that class next week myself. With Deviant Dance Tribe, if you're local and you love to dance, look up Deviant Dance Tribe. You'll find Lisa. She is amazing, an amazing instructor, very patient, puts up with me and my friend Heather being the rowdy, obnoxious girls in the back that crack jokes all the whole time and just are silly and goofy. But yeah. So we're going, a whole bunch of us are going to go see my friend perform in the Chairlesque show, part of the burlesque show. That'll be fun. So that's what I have on my agenda. So, all right, I did Chevron, so now I need eggs. Good times, and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate a party with you. Speaking of party, boy, I gotta tell you, nope, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm gonna jinx myself if I do. So, not even gonna say it. So just put the ribbon down, do 3 twists of my twist tie to make sure it doesn't come loose. Try and separate as I go. All right. I might have to cut more. I don't know. There's just some of the sites that I get all my supplies from. I just see so many ribbons that I'm like, oh, I love ribbon. And I love glitter, as all my friends can attest. I love me some glitter. I always joke that I bleed glitter because I love it. So, make my wings. Put it into my pipe cleaner. And do 1, 2, 3 twists. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the room, come on. I apologize. I never said I was a good singer, so. Alright, how are you liking that so far? It's coming along cute, right? Love it. What's next? Easter eggs. Now you just work your way around the wreath. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Celebrate. Make my wings. It's alright, baby. My poor kids, they're subjected to my 80s and 90s music all the time. And I'm just like, yep, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Even though I will say I was shocked one day when Evan asked me, and he's 17, asked me about going to see Metallica in concert. And I was like, since when do you listen to Metallica? I listen to it all the time. I never hear it, but he has his headphones, so. But I was like, all right. Not that I was like the hugest Metallica fan. I mean, I had an appreciation for them, but I wouldn't necessarily say like I was a diehard fan or anything. Even though I did kick ass on Sandman in, was it Rock Band, I think, or Guitar Hero, one or the other, where I had to sing it, I always got high scores on it. Andy tried doing the drums. The drums are like nearly impossible on that song. It's so fast, but I did pretty good on the singing. Okay, so let's see. And you will have a couple. Did I miss one? Hold on. Let me see, because I'm going to have two that are right next to each other. 1, 2. Ooh, Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard. I missed one. That's why. I was like, how did that happen? Okay. All right. That's okay. We just got to shift. This is what happens when you start talking. I want my fantasy. What you done to this rock and roll town? No, this is an amazing band. I love Def Leppard. And if you don't know the story of Def Leppard, you should go. I think they actually had a documentary, maybe it was one of those behind the music type things. Remember when VH1 used to play behind the music? I loved watching those things. But anyway, the drummer for Def Leppard was in a really bad car accident and had to have his arm amputated. And he thought that was the end of his drumming career, but he overcame it and he's still rocking with the band, and you wouldn't even know, that, I mean, you would know by looking at him that, he only has one arm, but listening to the music, you couldn't tell that the drummer only has one arm. All right, so Chevron Easter egg. Yes, okay. I almost was worried there for a minute. Like, how did I screw that up again? And dots. That's something else. If you're going to watch me, you're going to learn lots of useless trivia. So if you're not into those trivia games, maybe you should start, because you'll learn lots of useless trivia from Jess. So, okay, just pull them apart. All right, and then I got one more to do on the outside, and then we'll hop to the inside. Now, I also still have Easter kits available. If you want to buy an Easter kit, and then I will be doing a live tutorial on how to make said Easter kit. So you can look for that on my Facebook page, my business page. All right, so now I'm going to move into the inside. And not to say that the inside ribbons don't matter as much, because they do, but our bunny's going to be covering some of it, so don't stress if you just can't get the ribbons to go a certain way, because they're going to be displaced a little bit anyway from the bunny. So what do I have? All right. Yes, love. I know you do, but it's probably not gonna happen. Oh, listen to that, please.
Oh, donuts.
Donuts. Who's that on the camera? What do you see?
I can see camera. It's on.
The camera's right there.
No, I can't see.
I can't see. I love that mentality. They just close their eyes and it doesn't exist anymore.
Mommy.
Yes, baby. He's looking at himself. I got my camera or my computer over here with the video feed running so I can
Mommy.
make sure that everything's okay. What, love?
I want to back for no detail.
What? 10 what? I don't know what that means. All right, so basically do the same thing on the inside that you did on the outside. Just check to make sure you're not skipping anything like I did. Keep on loving you. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out for my local peeps when to do an actual class. Because I know some people do best by going to a class and learning. I'm loving you. It's the only thing I want to do. I gotta make sure I'm not skipping any. So say, is he coming upstairs again? It's always a mystery to see what food he is going to bring me to try and see if I'll let him eat it. I will say he usually does pick some good, yogurt and cheese, like healthy stuff. So, but 1, 2, 3. Ooh, sweet dreams. Wonder what that's like. I haven't had any in quite a while. Thanks, Nate. Dreams are made of these. What did I tell you?
It's hot.
It is hot. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Okay.
You gotta be careful so you don't hit your head. Watch your head. There you go. You're welcome. Oh, never a dull moment in this house. Okay, so I did that one. So, what do you think? Coming along nicely so far, right? Almost done doing the ribbon. All right, so I need to Do do. 1, 2, 3 twists. Nope, no, that way. And so what I try to do, I'll show you on the next one, what I try to do with the ribbon when I pull them apart. Okay, where's that next one? Right here. Try and show you at the very least. So what's in, let's see, that'd be Chevron. Okay, Chevron and dots. Here comes again. Okay. I hear him in the bathroom. Sounds like he's getting himself a cup of water. All right. So, oops, almost skipped one. All right, so I put it into my twist tie. Twist it 1, 2, 3. And then let me show you what I mean by trying to, where is it? In here. I have to find it, dig for it. So do you see how, they're still on top of each other, basically? So what I do is, I'll take the top, pull it in opposite directions, then take the bottom, pull them in opposite directions. That way it's separating them into the 4. They don't always stay that way. That's why you go back through when you're done, because when you're moving the wreath around, trying to do stuff, they'll sometimes go back into their, being on one overlaid with the other. And again, nothing ever has to be perfect. All right. Let's see. Got that one, that one. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. There's not one there. Oh, no, wait. There is one there. Just double checking, making sure I've got ribbons on all of them. Do not have one on this one. Okay. Or that one. All right, I think I finally found where I left off. Okay. Okay. I hear the mail truck. It's funny how the mail trucks have a distinctive sound to them. Same with the UPS truck and the FedEx truck. It's like I know what truck's coming through the neighborhood when I hear the rumble of the engine. How? Oh. Twist 1, 2, 3. So let me tell you, tonight, crafting with Kira. If you want to see me practice the art of patience, you're going to want to join it. Because I love my girl. But sometimes trying to do stuff with her, I just am like, oh Lord. You never know how much patience you have until you're either trying to cook or craft with your kid. So we shall see how that turns out later. But she's super excited though when she found out that I was going to start doing live videos, making different crafts. And they're not always going to be wreaths. I'm trying to figure out some other things that I want to do. I do a lot of stuff with my Cricut, but until I have a formal, actual workshop, I really only have this little card table area to work with. So, the Cricut, I gotta have space for it to cut, and you know, I probably could. I just have to figure out the setup, you know, but like I couldn't do anything that would require using the heat press or whatever because I keep that way downstairs, you know, so it's away from the kids, and you know, I can't be running up and down the stairs to try and, you know, hey, we're going on location to the basement to see the heat press, but I think that might have been the last one, right? Okay. But I'm hoping that maybe I'll eventually have a dedicated craft room. Like right now, I kind of craft wherever I can. You know, I keep all my supplies in pretty baskets in the living room. There's some downstairs. Right here is literally in my bedroom. So it's wherever you can craft. I figure wherever I can fit a card table is where I can craft. So I think we got all of our ribbon. So just go through, double check, make sure we got it all. And it looks like we did. So cute. So cute so far. Another piece of cheese.
It's so good to one that went because it goes upside down.
It goes upside down. Okay.
It's going up in the sky.
Up to the sky. All right. Last piece. Okay. Last piece. Okay. Ouch. I'm actually going to pull my hair back because it's starting to annoy me. Sorry. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to actually add the Easter Bunny because I don't know where to put my eggs until the Easter Bunny.
Small one.
You found a small one? Okay. I don't know where to put the Easter eggs until the bunny is on. So here is a bunny. Oh, I hear a phone. Hopefully it's not important. Let me listen. I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to check that. Just a minute, please. Okay. Sorry about that. Telemarketers, I tell ya. Doesn't matter if you're on a do not call list. Oops, if I put this back on. Doesn't matter if you're on a do not call list or not, they still call. All right, so here's my bunny. Now you'll notice that it already had like a ribbon here because you can just hang it by itself on a wall, but I was like, nah, that's boring. We're going to put that into our center. But the problem with that is if you were to only attach it by the top, your bunny, once you tied it on, is going to go like that. Just automatically, it's just going to pop up. So I had to add some wire to the back. And the way I did that was I took some felt. I took some pieces of like a square of felt, and then I kind of folded it into thirds, and I have my wire in there, and then I hot glued it. Just a little tidbit on using hot glue and stuff. Hot glue works great, but depending on where you live, if it gets super hot, what's going to happen to that glue? You guessed it, it's going to start to get soft and you might start having pieces fall off. So I personally don't put any of my wreaths outside just because I want to keep the wreath looking nice, and at least here in Syracuse, you know, and you never know what kind of weather you're going to have, just things get ruined way quicker, I find. So when I make stuff, I just tend to keep it inside because then I know that it's going to last. But that's just something to keep in mind. You can use hot glue. You can also use a glue called DAP, D-A-P, and you know, it's glue, but you don't have to worry about it like getting soft or anything like that and coming apart if the weather tends to be hot. So I just took the pieces of felt, folded them over 3 times. I have my wire, and it is, what gauge is it? 24 gauge wire, which is a little thinner and smaller than I would like. I actually would probably prefer 26 because it's still bendable and flexible, but it's a little sturdier, I find. But this is what I had on hand, so this is what we're going with. So I already glued my felt to my rabbit. I got my wire in there. And then what I'm going to do, instead of having the wire like loop across the top, I'm going to just put pieces of wire into each of these rabbit ears. And then I'm going to attach it to the wreath. So let me get my... And with this, I'm always just very generous because I'd rather have too much than not enough. So nope, going the wrong way. Sorry. Nope, don't want to do that either. Sorry. So that's what's nice with this is it's very malleable, so you can, you know, knot it and then twist it to how you want it to be, just so things stay in place. And then I'll actually twist it just a few times just to really make sure that it's not going anywhere. Okay, so I have that side done. I'm gonna do the other side. We are almost done. We are in the home stretch. Oh, and another thing, save your tubes. Let me tell you why. Because when you are doing the curl method, these tubes come in handy. Like I personally don't like curling the ribbon by hand because, I mean, I do it by hand, but I use this to help because I find that my curls come out a lot cuter. And that's what the Easter kit is based upon, is the curl method. So I always save my tubes, especially if I'm going to start offering like local classes, then I'll have enough tubes for people to use. So I got glitter all over me. Big surprise. What time is it? 11:14. All right, we're almost done in the home stretch. And trust me, these will go faster as I become more adept at being on live. Let me tell you, I had to work up the courage to do my live. I've been doing these wreaths for a while, and everybody kept saying you should do lives on them, you should offer kits, and it took me a while to work up the courage, and then I finally worked up the courage for yesterday, and Facebook went down. I was like, figures. All right, so I got my ribbon on my bunny, and now I'm going to figure out where I want to place them on here. So, isn't that going to be so cute? Okay, so I always start with the bottom first. Just that way if I have to maneuver, I just find that it's just easier to do the bottom. I always just start with the bottom. So I'm going to just find the wire wreath form. I know it's, you got to take my word for it. I'm feeling around for that wire wreath form. And it's okay if your wire goes through the deco mesh because it's such a thin wire, it's not going to do anything to it. So I got it through on the one side. Now I gotta find the other. You know, just move those ribbons out of the way. That way you can manipulate them to how you want it to be for the final finish to this. All right, so I got it through on the other side. Now you got to be careful because you've got it, you know, glued with the felt. And if you pull too hard, you're going to rip the felt right off the bunny. So what I'll do is then I'll flip it over. And you see I got here's the wire. You can't really, I guess I could try and zoom in a little bit for you. You see I got the wire like right there. And so then I kind of just wrap it around on one side to begin with. Uptown girl, she's living in her uptown world. And I just wrap it a few times around the wire wreath form, because then what I'll do is I'll bring the two pieces of wire together. So I got it here. I'm going to go over to this side. Let me get out of the, don't need that much of the zoom. Okay. You know, and I just go and I check, you know, to make sure it's where I want it to be. Just don't want it around that one. Oh no, that'll be fine. Okay. Sometimes the wire does not want to cooperate. Uptown Girl. Christy Brinkley in it. And apparently she doesn't know how to dance, and they had to like do her scenes over and over and over because she just could not dance. Something I learned in a pop-up video that used to be on VH1. Remember when they had pop-up video? I loved that show. Okay. All right, so I'm not gonna tie these two pieces together yet, because just in case I need to rearrange things, it's just much easier. So I will tie that after I've gotten the ones up at the top done. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, pull it through. And one side, uptown girl. Okay. Ouch. All right. How's that gonna work? Sorry. I think that'll look cute. All right. I like the placement of it. Let me spin it around to show you. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. Ah, come on. No, go the other way. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Nope, not that. There we go. That's what I knew there was something else that I could hit. Okay. You get out of there. All right. So that's where the placement is going to be. I like that. I think that's cute. It's not too far into the wreath. So now what I'm going to do is same thing that I did with the bottom. I'm going to wrap it around my wire wreath form a few times, and I'll put it down in a minute. I just wanted to get the wire wrapped around quickly before I lose my place here. You know, like it shifts and then I don't like the way it's gonna look. So I will turn it face down in a minute. That's the way you need it, any way you want it. Anybody remember the, what was it, Allstate? Where they kind of are using the words from this song and the wife thinks the guy's talking to somebody and it's Jake from State Farm. All right, so see that? And I always also too, I shake it just to make sure it's not going to come apart, you know, because that's the worst thing to to have happen is you take all this time and you know it shifts just a little bit and then it falls apart. So you can tell I got it right here, right there, and there. I just wrapped it around. I still got my ends. So now what I'm going to do is tie those ends together, and that'll just really make it secure. Okay, ugh, I got wires all up in my face. All right. Okay, then I'll just take my wire cutters and snip. There we go. All right, I'm gonna have to look for that one that fell because I'll be stepping on it later, I'm sure. All right, and then sometimes it's still a little loose from where I cut it, so then I'll just kind of twist it around the wire wreath form to, you know, just make sure that it doesn't poke out and bother anybody. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. All right, same thing on the bottom. Just secure my two pieces of ribbon and then twist it just to really make sure it doesn't come apart. Okay. And then cut. Should I stay or should I go? You know what? Those pieces are kind of long. I think I might actually save those for something else. Okay. And then again, try and twist it around. Actually, I kind of can't because that zip tie is there. Okay, well, maybe I'll just tuck it under. Okay. There. Okay. So, the muddy wreath so far. We're almost done. We're in the final stretch. Okay, so now what I can do is go through, find those pieces of ribbon, you know, and try and make everything all nice again. You know, sometimes they get tucked up underneath the sign or whatnot, so you just got to pull them back out. All right, and then I'm going to show you the one final thing that I'm going to do to this wreath that I really think is going to make it pop type kind of thing. Let me just fix my ribbons here. Okay, and again, I'm kind of using my finger, to give it a little bit of a curl as I go. Just kind of makes it look cute, in my opinion. Just kind of is teaching the curl where to go, so to speak. So, should I stay? Should I go? Okay. Almost done. Just finding all my little ribbons. Okay. Ooh, every rose. Love this song too. Okay. Now one of these ribbons it's going to be tucked behind the Easter bunny no matter what. And so what you can do, looking at it from here, I'm just pulling all my ribbons out. But once, I get it up and against the door or something, then I can go back through and kind of tweak how I want to do it. So what I thought would be cute though, is one final little, thing to add are these little eggs. So they don't come like this. I got the eggs from Hobby Lobby in the Easter section and also the Chanel stems. And so what I did though is actually, let me move the wreath out of the way again. Okay, so I already did a few of them up ahead of time just to, save time, because you also need to let the glue dry. But I take a pipe cleaner, and you don't need a lot, really. You only need maybe 3 or 4 inches. Don't need a lot. And then one of these, what is it, an awl? Oh, somebody's going to be coming. The life of a toddler. He's going to be coming up in a minute because he's mad. I can hear him. Take my awl, or I should say my husband's awl. Honey, if you're trying to look for it, I have it. I commandeered it. And I just very carefully put a little hole in there. Right there, as you can see. And then I take my glue, my hot glue, and I put just a dab of glue on the end of the pipe cleaner. And then I shove it in the little hole. And then sometimes I'll just even go around the perimeter again just to really make sure that it's going to stick in there. And then let that harden. So I'm just going to set that to the side because that'll be the last one that I use. So that is just a cute little tip if you want to add, little things. You can add flowers. There's just a whole bunch of things that you can do. But, in this case, I thought it would be cute to add some eggs. So that is how you do that. You just puncture a little hole into your egg, put some glue on the end of the pipe cleaner, and then let it harden, and then you put it on here. Now, I try to make sure that it's symmetrical. So I have 2, 4, 6, that's 7, but I may not use that one. And I just try to, you know, be symmetrical. So I might do like one here, one here, one here, one here, and then maybe one here and one here. You know, whatever you want to do. I'm one of those anal people that just, you know, got to have things a certain way. And I would stick to the outside of the wreath because that's where they're going to see them the best. You're not really going to see anything on the inside. So let's see, stick to the outside. So I'll just start at the top. And let me turn this so you can see what I'm doing. So I still have, as you can tell, pipe cleaner. And I'm going to show you what to do with the excess pipe cleaner. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'll show you what I do with the excess pipe cleaner. So I just take my egg and kind of very carefully just twist the pipe cleaner for the egg and what I have left of the wreath form. And then I'll just kind of twist them all together. And then you can do one of two things. You can either it's probably not the best tool to be using this with, but because it's pointy. You can either roll your chenille stems around something so they'll tuck under, you know, and then they leave these little, you know, curly Q type things. So that's an option. Or you can just downright cut them, which is honestly what I tend to do. So, so that's some options. All right, so I got the top. I'm going to do the bottom. So again, find the bottom one right here. Got my leftover tie. What did I do up top? Yellow. Let's do a purple. And then just wrap it. And then I'll bring them together and wrap both of them. Okay, so it's like that. And so then I'll very carefully trim it because you don't want to trim too close because then you might like mess the integrity of the pipe cleaner up and then it'll fall apart. So, all right, yeah, fuzz, 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 fuzz. All right, so see, cute, just little something extra. I'll do it on this side. Same thing. Let's do one of these. Twist, 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 twist. Do, do, do. All right. Okay, let's cut that. Just try and manipulate that. And sometimes you'll have the nub of the pipe cleaner still there, so you'll just have to kind of play with it and tuck it in a little bit. So So, okay, let's do the other side. All right. Oh, Ghostbusters. Love this movie. We watch it every year at Halloween. It is like one of our go-to movies at Halloween is Ghostbusters. And you know, everybody dogged on the remake. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not the caliber of what, you know, the original is, but I thought it was okay. But I heard that they're actually doing another Ghostbusters movie, and they got like all of the original cast members with the exception of Harold Ramis because he passed away. That was the one that played Egon. Like they all signed on to do it. I mean, they're not like they're reprising their roles. They're not going to be like the main stars. They're going to be like, you know, I don't want to say cameos either, but they do have a role in it. So almost done. All right, let's do one here. Let's do purple. So, yeah. Oh. Okay. Twist. Pick up the phone and call. Okay. Should be on here. You know what? I am going to need another one. I'm going to be short now that I think about it. Because I only had enough to do 7. So let me quick get another egg. Okay. And I still got my blue pipe cleaner. Glue. Stick it around in that hole. Make it all nice and okay. And I got glue string everywhere. Set it over there to dry. It's the problem with hot glue. You come away with like strings of glue all over the place. Okay. I'm just gonna do this blue one that dried. Okay. Ghostbusters. Ouch. All right. 2 more eggs left. Dude, looks like a lady. Okay. Dude, looks like a lady. It's over here. Purple and a pink. Let's do the yellow over this one. Okay. And the home stretch. So at any of the holidays, and well, anytime really, because you just go to a store that has a floral section, You know, you can get flowers and or floral picks, and then just you know, if you want to add just a little something to your wreath, just to give it a little extra, you know, oomph. The holidays are great for floral pick type things. There's just so many to choose from around the holidays, especially like fall and Christmas. There's not as many for the other holidays, but you know. Okay. All right. And then that last blue one will go right here, which I think it is dry enough. All right. This is the last egg I'm going to put down. Then we will be done with our wreath. Because I don't think I'm going to add a bow to this one. I do have one made, but I'm not sure I want to add it. So, and that's going to be another live that I'm going to show you, is how to make pretty bows. Don't have to be just for, nope, we're good. They don't have to be just for wreaths. All right, and then I'm going to tuck that under. Okay, and then I'm just going to go through, fluff a little, but, upside down. There we go. All right. So, there we go. You can see all of our little eggs we have going around. Their ribbon, our cute little bunny. So, like I said, I do have a bow, but I almost wonder if it will like distract from it. And yes, those are toilet paper rolls. That is a great way to keep your bow, like keep the shape of your bow, is by just cutting up some toilet paper tubes and you know, just keeping them there. But like I said, one of the tutorials that I have is going to be showing you how to make a pretty bow like that. It's kind of all over the place right now, but I don't know. I think that might be too much. I'll have to take a look at it later and see. But so let me pop up here a little bit. Okay. So here's the wreath. Like I said, you can go through and, you know, you might have to fiddle with some things, but for the most part, there's the wreath in its finished form. I thank you guys for watching with me. Like I said, it's the start of the videos, so I'm going to be making lots of different crafting videos. Not all wreaths, some wreaths, because there's just so many different things you can do. They're so versatile. You know, so plus I love doing them. There's just something very relaxing about doing the wreaths, but it'll be lots of different things, you know, wreaths, Cricut projects, Kira's crafts that she's gonna, you know, try and make, how to make bows, just simple tutorials, you know, like maybe you don't want to keep paying for the wreath forms, so let me, you know, show you how you can make your own wreath form. So just things like that. So with that said, I am going to call it quits. I will be back on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Kira for Kira's Crafting Corner. So if you want to tune in then, that would be awesome. I know that she would appreciate it, as would I. If you want to get alerts, scroll to the top of my business page, click that link, hit get started, and then you will start to be alerted when I'm going to go live and that kind of thing. I really would love it if you shared my video, shared my business page, liked any of things that I do, because that just fixes the algorithm for Facebook, and then I'll get to be in front of more people. And it's always, sharing is caring, as my kids always say. So I really would appreciate it. So I'm going to get my Etsy shop up and running. It's just been so crazy trying to do PTO stuff, the craft fair, making the wreaths, doing the business aspect of it, being a mom, a wife, cook, cleaner, maid, housekeeper, chauffeur, you name it, I'm doing it right now. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch me, and I will be back later. See you guys later. Bye.